Welcome, man, to another episode of Am I Standing on It podcast, man. I got a couple of guests in today that I'm glad to have on here to go over this topic. First, we got a new person here that's joining us. We got Erica here in the building. How you doing, Erica?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. We got, you already know, no introduction. We got Legend here in the building.
Yo, what up, man? What up, y'all? Mr. Controversy.
Right, you got I'm him.
And last but not least, y'all know who it is. Pooh Shiesty,
I'm him.
R. Kelly without the mask. Y'all know who it is. Well, we got Reflection in the building.
Yes,
Hey, the listeners owe me. I'm about to them. Shout out to Texas.
Shout out, boy. You got lines going all through
Straight
the
up.
screen. You're in and out, and you're chirping. I can't hear you.
Yeah, see? Talking about my shit.
That boy. Yeah.
Hey, don't play me. Don't play me.
Hey, so we're gonna dive right into it, man. So
Let's get into
I
it.
don't know if you guys had seen a few days ago, you had Paul Pierce online the other day. He was on his own podcast, and a couple of ladies asked him about NBA players, and then they asked him some questions about why do NBA players choose to go date outside their race. Now, they preferably said white women, and you know, if you're black, we know what that means. That means anything outside of a black woman. You know what I mean? That includes you, just Asian, Hispanic. It don't matter. You're a part of that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of get you guys' input. One, we start off with what he talked about. Why do you think NBA players or celebrities or athletes preferably go outside of their race when it comes to dating? I'll let you go, Reflection.
The negativity is not there
Mm.
for whatever reason. There's so much negative energy when I approach or I can a black female,
He go on.
and I'm talking about if I'm on the bus or I'm walking through the grocery store. There's this negative energy. And she assumes, and I'm trying to get at her, saying, you look good today, or if I just greet her, it's this negative energy, and I don't know what that is. But then I get to the same store and catch a Caucasian woman, and her greeting to me is so the energy is vibrant. It's accepting and everything. It's like, and I know we got Caucasian women that look at niggas like, oh, he's trying to rape me or he wants to do this. But my experience with most Caucasian women, it's been connecting. It's been very, very, the vibe has been good. I can talk to them. I can hold a conversation with them no matter where we're at compared to a black female. I don't understand that. I don't know why that is.
So what
And
you
I
saying
will.
you think that celebrities
It might be
and
because
athletes are choosing, or you're saying you think that celebrities and entertainers and athletes are choosing to date outside their race because of attitudes?
yes, the negativity.
The negativity.
Because if 99.9% of them of these athletes are black, the African Americans, the Negroes, or put in the street terms, they're niggas, and it just seems like that they can connect and get along better with the opposite race, and it might be some situations in between that needs to be adjusted, but we're not trying to wait around for that adjustment. If I see an attractive female, no matter what race she is, and I approach her or I try to make small talk, and that energy is off, then I'm off that. And usually that energy is off with a black woman. I don't know why that is.
Legend, what you think, and not you just personally, but just speaking for entertainers and athletes, why do you think they might choose to go outside their race when it comes to dating and marriage?
I think, like, to touch on what Reflection said, man, it's just I don't think black women see how they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said the other night, it's hard for you to look at yourself from the inside. You know what I'm saying? If we could take a step outside of ourselves and look at ourselves, it'd be a lot easier to understand. But most people don't want to do that anyway, because most people don't want to hear the truth about themselves. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of shit that comes with just dating a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a peace of mind that you get when you date outside your race, whether it's a white woman or not. Like, I think is what it all comes down to is like the expectations, and you know what I'm saying, the expectations that's put on black men by black women are so high and unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? That's where the conflict begins, because I feel like black women want a finished product, whereas white women or Asian or Mexican, they don't really mind that the product
They're willing to build it. They're willing to build that product. They're willing to build. It's like the Three Little Pigs.
They willing to build it from the ground up. Like, black women want the house already built, and other races of women, they don't mind building the house with you from scratch. You know what I'm saying, metaphorically speaking. And
so I have to put it in terms.
Yeah.
The pigs, they were buddies, right? They were close confidants, right?
Right.
So what's your assessment of that story that we were told as child? What took that third peg to finally realize my shit's made of bricks?
Yeah. I see what you're getting at.
The other pigs fall off from that. So most women don't hang on to us until we get to the brick knowledge. The negative is destroying the brick knowledge until we get to that brick knowledge. And I'm not saying all of us men need to get to the brick knowledge. I just don't want to deal with the bullshit, the negativity. If you don't believe in me, I'm done with you. I and I'll know that off of a date. I'm gonna know that. Like, I'm gonna go further with you off of a date. If I can feel that off of one date. If I feel like I can't go further with you, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
but most black women hang with a nigga until we get to that brick knowledge. So what you said, they want us built and made already to survive the storm, the huff and puff, and blow your house down when your lights get cut off. You're struggling at the job. They the first to ghost. That woman is gonna sit there and say, "Hey, let's figure it out." That white woman's gonna say, "Let's figure it out. We can work on it, baby. We can work on it." That black woman, nigga, you can't even do this. I'm out.
Well, Larry, what you just stated, man, I have heard that before, about the whole finished product thing and not being there from the beginning to build it, and waiting back, wanting a finished product. And I forget where I heard it from, but it was online, and it was a celebrity, I forget who it was, that spoke on that, and kind of I think it was during that time with the NFL when they were that whole controversy. Why did so many NFL players have white women on their arms at the NFL draft? And they interviewed a lot of the college players from the D1 colleges, and they were stating that during the time going through school, a lot of, I guess, the black, I guess you can say girls, because it's still kids to me in college, wasn't paying attention to them, didn't really want to date them at that time because they had no money back then. This is before the NIL payment they get now. But because they were broke, they didn't want to pay attention to them. There was white girls or whatever race of girls at school that gave them that attention and still dated them. And also, even when they did go hang out, sometime the white girls in school would even help pay for lunch or something small, not nothing big, but food, just to say I'm rocking with you type deal, right? But then once they got into the league and started making millions of dollars, then they said then the black woman came and wanted to be with them at that point. So they wanted the finished product. They didn't want to be there at the beginning while he was creating that person to become
They want
worth
to build
millions.
a foundation.
And it was actually a couple players that spoke on that. I remember one was Dennis Rodman back in the day said they always teased him, calling him ugly. But he said, once I got some millions in my pockets, I wasn't ugly no more to y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said the only ones that would look at him or date him was white women at that time.
Mhm.
I remember Kobe Bryant, even though he didn't go to college, he stated that during high school he was a loner. That's why he practiced his game so tough. Nobody invited him to the parties and all that kind of stuff. The girls weren't talking to him like that until he senior year and he blew up and they knew he was about to make it to the league. And then the women started coming to him. You know what I mean? So that is part of that is a real thing. I also heard a sports agent one time was online and he spoke about it and he said that a lot of the athletes choose to do it because not that they don't want to, they're thinking about sponsor deals. You can't bring everybody to the table. You know what I mean? And meaning that if there's a certain attitude, you don't know how to carry yourself, you don't have that right look, all that plays a factor. If you Adidas or Nike and I'm giving you millions of dollars and I'm need to bring you out in the community, in the public, you got to carry yourself in a certain way or you make the brand look bad. And it might not be you as the athlete, it's the person that you put on your arms. You know what I'm saying? So I know that happens in other races too, because an example would be the Travis Hunter guy that just won the Heisman Trophy. He's with she said her mom is black and her dad is Hispanic, so she mixed, I guess. But same thing with her. He's out there with the fans in college. They want to take pictures. She's getting an attitude saying you can't take pictures with women. You can't talk to women unless I'm sitting right there. And she's sitting there with the frown face on. Like that kind of stuff. You can't do that or have that jealousy like that. Especially when there's money on the line. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that type of money you get, it's not about you. It's about the entire family. That's taking care of mom, dad, sister, brothers, me, and possibly you. You know what I mean? Don't fuck the bag up over personal feelings. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
But comment that just came in. I'm dead.
But you know they're gonna try to hit us with the Shannon Sharp. But I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh, the Shannon Sharp, man. We gonna get on into that because that's a whole nother deal. Shannon played this stuff.
He was met with a Caucasian woman, and look what happened with him.
Let's see here. So we do got one that said black women.
That's all that was. It was the wrong one because he could have been messing with whoever. And it was the wrong one. If it's the wrong one, it's the wrong one, whether she was Caucasian or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, like I said last night. Hey, you know what that is? Let me tell you some reflection. The shit that in the Shannon Sharp situation, remember last night when I was like, yo, we all got a piece of pussy that we regret?
That's it.
That's what homegirl fall under. Because no matter what race she could have been Asian, she could have been Hispanic, whatever. If she was gonna be who she was or who she is as we know her, she was gonna be that. So the conversation that we'd be having would be, don't fuck with Hispanic women or don't fuck with Asian women. It's not about whatever race. It's just that's just how it be sometimes, man. Like we just fuck around with the wrong one. Like
the topic tonight is
saying like things happen to come down like that. You know what I'm saying? So yo, what up, Ma? How you?
Hi. Hello.
Welcome to the.
How are you?
So what we're gonna do is welcome to the show, G. So Erica, I know you're new to the show and we got you on here. I got a question for you. So, just speaking of personal experience, have you ever dated a black guy? Have you dated different races of men? What's your story?
I have dated different races of men. I have dated black men, and it's just I don't think I'm looking at this comment right here. I have touch base on this comment.
No, don't look at the comment. Yeah, it's distraction. Don't look at the comments.
I love that. Don't look at the comments. I didn't look at the comments at all last night.
I'm holding my tongue so bad. It's hilarious.
So let me ask you something.
Yes, I do.
You said
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you say you dated black men, and you dated other races of men.
I've dated black men. I've dated Hispanic men. I've dated white men. Yes.
So
I
when dating a
prefer.
black man, could you tell me where are you meeting black men? Are you outside meeting black men, or is it social media? Are you at a black club, restaurant? Like, how is this interaction taking place when you guys first meet each other?
I've met
That's a good
them
question.
from friends.
That is such a
I've
good question.
I have met them from friends. I've met them outside at the clubs or places I've been at. I don't do social media dating.
Do you have girlfriends that try to hook you up? Like, hey, I got
I
a
do have
homeboy you
girlfriends.
should
The majority of people that I hang out with are black. So.
Okay, so
She's
you're
got
in that
some
circle
soul
then.
to her.
She what?
You're in
I
that
said
circle.
She's got some soul to her.
Yeah.
The majority of her friends are black. She has a little something, there's certain people who are just attracted to certain cultures and you just have it in you.
Are
Yeah.
you?
I prefer.
So are you? Do you only at this point in your life? Are you only dating black men, or are you still open to other races of men?
No, of course I'm open to other races. I mean, it's not just something specific I'm looking for in just one culture. I think it depends on how the person treats you. If you have that chemistry with them, but at the same time, if I meet, I don't know how to word this proper, but if I meet a square ass white boy that I'm not vibing with because he has no swag or he does not have that certain, then obviously that's not going to work for me.
So I'm curious about
But
this.
it has to have the chemistry, regardless of your race. You have to have that chemistry. You guys have to have that connection.
Right.
And
That's what's up.
I feel something right now that I really want to say. There's something associated with black men that women feel like is you can kind of handle my craziness. You can I don't know.
First of all, I'm gonna say this: don't no man any race want to handle anything. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if I gotta handle you, I don't want to be with you. Second, now if you
what
crazy,
did you just say? You said there's no man that what?
I said no man want to deal with anything from any woman. Crazy,
no man wants to deal with anything.
With anything, we don't want to have to deal with you. We shouldn't have to deal with the woman. Period. We just want some peace. That's it, regardless of the race.
No, but I've caught the flattery in that. What she said. She said us niggas can. I caught the flattery in that, so that's why I did the Michael Jackson.
But so let me ask you this. This is what I'm more curious about. Back to you, Erica. If let's say since you dated different races of men, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you dated black guys, when you started dating a black guy, and because you mentioned the word a square white dude, no swag, this and that. After dating a black guy, does it make you look at other races of men differently? Like they will say I'm not going to say all, certain black men carry themselves a certain kind of way. Maybe the way they dress, maybe the way they are, the way they act, talk, the way they might tell their jokes. Who knows? Just them. And then you go and date a white guy after that. Does that mess up? Like, I would think not to be wrong, but it's just different. The personalities, the way they carry themselves.
It is definitely different. I mean, you have completely different, types of men and different how they carry themselves, and whether you have this man over here with all the swag or this guy who has absolutely no swag, but it's just again and what you're attracted to. And obviously, if you're going to date a black man who has everything going from all this, and then a normal ass different race dude over there, you're not going to be attracted to the same thing.
Pop that shit.
So that white man that I've dated has not been, like, I would tell you, the white man that I've dated is not just a regular ass white dude. He's had swag to him. He either hung out with the brothers or in a different crew or something. You know what I mean? It's not just
your average.
But you know what most women gonna say about this conversation tonight? And they're gonna say, "Oh, you niggas want to fuck with the white women because you can abuse and dominate them, and you're not You're not man enough
But I
to
don't
deal with
think
a.
that's true either, because I think every woman has a mouth on her regardless. It just depends how far you're going to let that go. Like, I'm not going to let any man, white, black, Mexican, Hispanic, anything, disrespect me. You're not going to be disrespectful to me, but I do know how to communicate with you. So we will have a conversation. If you're going to be that type of man that is disrespectful, then it's going to go completely sideways. You can go out the door.
Hey,
I have
to
so
touch on
many.
that, if you see on the screen here, shout out to the dude 80 West out there in Houston. And he got a perfect point there. LeBron James' wife, for an example, black woman, he been with since high school, and it seemed like she understands what the mission is. You don't hear anything about her. She's not in the limelight. She's not looking to be famous like him. She's not on Basketball Wives. She's not
The
doing all
assignment.
the
She knew
stuff. Her man is
She
the
knew-
star. He's bringing in the money, and she keeps him in the forefront. You know what I mean?
She knew
She
the
knew
assignment.
She knew it.
Most
And the perfect example with him, they've been together since high school. LeBron James is 40 years old now. He still haven't left. Because most of these athletes, we know the relationships don't last. They're after cheating. Not saying he hasn't cheated, because I think he has.
Yes, he has.
But I know for a fact he has, but he's not leaving his wife. I see that. You know what I mean? And
because
I know some people
he's
say
able to do what he does. He's able to
I know
do what
some
the
people
fuck he
say that,
does.
especially when they have money the way they do. Like Kobe Bryant, for example, when he passed, I remember it was some black women saying that they didn't want the athletes with that type of money to date outside their race, because if you get divorced, half of that money goes to a whole nother race and build their community up.
It's
and
not
makes
even
that family
about
wealthy.
it going to a
And
whole
that money is
nother
taken away
race.
from the black families or the black community. That was a big issue with the whole Kobe Bryant deal, because when his wife took all the money, she didn't even give Kobe parents any of the money, and that's their son. And they was talking about over $400 million.
That's crazy.
So
I kind of understand why they could get mad on
ultimately-
that.
with me,
I feel like these are two different discussions, two very different discussions. But I do want to touch on something, Benz. When you said, like, okay, where are you meeting these people? Where are you meeting these people? Where are you meeting the black person meeting the white girl, the white girl meeting the black girl? I feel like our jobs and who you surround yourself with, that becomes your dating pool. So where do you put yourself?
nice. I like that. It's good.
It is. That's true.
Because
Just like if you want to be.
pertaining to where we work at. So whatever our employer is, how I attach myself and how I was attracted to white women under the influence of being attracted to white women was I was raised in Texas, born in California, but raised in Texas. So I was under the influence. A lot of black women wasn't sexually comfortable with themselves, with their sexuality. So all you saw was the Cindy Crawfords, the Brooke Shields, the Pamela Andersons, and I'm about to show my age. There was a soap opera show called All My Children, and I fell in love with this white chick named Jenny. And she had a homie named Greg, but I wanted them to be together
I
so
don't even
bad.
know what the fuck you're talking about, but I can't wait to look it up.
All My Children. Google All My Children, and then Google the cast. Jenny, I was so in love with Jenny. And then Wonder Woman. I love Wonder Woman so much, especially when she did the whole turnaround with the whip, like the turn into her outfit. Oh my God. And
He
then
was hooked on white women from there on out.
I was raised in Texas, but the media for a Negro child growing up, all I saw was the white woman. She was the woman to have, because the black women wasn't comfortable. They weren't as presentational or showing like the white woman was back then. Even in Colgate commercials, all you saw was the white women back then brushing their teeth.
Colgate commercials?
Yeah, so growing up as a Negro child, you saw like the white woman as the woman to have. From the sexual.
Do me a favor, man. Can you talk in terms of today? You keep saying the Negro and all that, like we're in the 50s, man. Can you speak 2025, please?
So what we say,
Bring
nigga?
it back.
Just say
Bring it,
black
bring
guy,
it, bring
man.
it
Or
back.
something like that.
He's trying to
You
bring it
said
back.
Negro. I
Okay.
know you put that hat on.
Okay, I got the slave hat
I
on.
know you got that
Yeah,
Malcolm X hat on, but goddamn, boy, with the zoo suit.
Hey, I'm the slave that made it to eat the cornbread while you got to plow the grounds.
Well,
I'm
let me go ahead and plow then. Well,
right.
I'll plow.
I'm the nigga that grew up being influenced and attracted to the Cindy Crawfords and the Brooke Shields. So these were the people that you saw on the screen. These were the women that you saw in the magazines. So as a nigga, I was like, oh wow.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You
Nah,
ugly.
that was
Like, why
that
did that
era.
just make me think of that?
You know why? Because the black women wasn't that comfortable with their sexuality. So it's a white woman. When I saw my first porno magazine, it was white women in that magazine. It wasn't black females in that magazine. It was I go to the restroom, my uncles left the magazine in there. I'm looking at white women. I'm looking at first time I'm a virgin. I'm seeing shit titties and everything. And this is a Caucasian woman. I didn't see a black female. So back then my era was white women. So that was my attraction to white women. And then when I was in school, most of my girlfriends were Caucasian girls. So
Okay,
white
I
school?
want to say I want to say another
Did
thing
you go to a
right
white
now
school?
that is so heavy on my mind. Like,
Oh.
so
I went to Bell Elementary in Tyler, Texas, and it wasn't an all colored school. It was like a variety. It was white
it was
girls.
a variety. Was it a fair
I was
variety?
I was under the influence of the TV and what they publicized as the attraction of the woman to have, and it wasn't a black woman because black women didn't want to show themselves like that. They wasn't comfortable with their sexuality like that at the time.
Well, I think black women. I think they were showing their sexuality back then because I know you remember Jet magazines in the middle of the magazine. You know what I'm saying? But I think what it mainly was the reason you saying you seen white women as far as adult magazines, porno, stuff like that is because that's where the money was going. That's what these men were out here spending their money on. And it is a real thing when it comes to race and money.
The media, Dukes of Hazzard. The chick in Dukes of Hazzard. That's the chick with the Daisy Dukes. How many times did you see a black woman in Daisy Dukes back then in that era?
No,
Well,
you saw your
women
little
women out
blonde
there.
with like, but I don't even think any of that really matters. I feel like, so I want to tell my story real quick, and I'm gonna try to do it so I don't like just prolong it.
Hold on, we're gonna keep
growing up in Cameron Park.
before you start, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna kind of just get to the points of the story.
No, that's exactly what I want to do.
So let me ask you this though, because just so we don't get off the topic, because the topic is
I'm trying to stay on the topic. I was
race. So
I was redirecting.
Who's really going to be able to answer that question would be a black man. Now, when we come to you, G, it'll be the same question that I was asking Erica.
No, but you have to listen.
Hold on, you have to listen because you don't know the question. Who do you preferably date? Let's lead into it versus jumping in and telling the story. Who do you preferably date? So you got to let your audience gather and get to know you first.
Because I grew up in this is why. That's why I wanted to tell you my story. This is why. I grew up in a small city to where people like literally park their airplanes in their garages, like that's where you go trick-or-treating. It's Cameron Park. And my house and me, I was like the exception to the rule and everybody knew it. I grew up in a very wealthy community, but my family and my upbringing was not that at all. When I actually was able to travel to Sacramento, which was so close, I didn't even know how close Sacramento was to Cameron Park. But when I got to actually go to Sacramento, I was like, oh, there's black people. Oh, fucking shit. I really I knew that I listened to their music. I knew that their music, like that fucking music that I wasn't allowed to listen to because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and it was like music that I listened to helped me get through all my trials and tribulations. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Sacramento has more people than Cameron Park has, because it felt like Cameron Park was just all white people. So I feel like that was kind of like something that made me secretly feel like a kid in a candy store.
It was because you thought you weren't supposed to dabble in it, so it made you want to dabble in it, and it made you. It was
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
Something that you were told you couldn't have. So that's what it always is. Any little kid, whether it's a white girl with a black man with a white girl, a kid in a candy store, if you're told no, you can't have it, or no, you're not supposed to do it, you're gonna want to try it.
I was literally told no. I was literally told by both sides of my family to never date a black man.
Why is that?
I don't know.
You asked them, or like you never asked them, or like you couldn't figure out why? Because the people that tell you the shit, people that tell you don't date no black men, you should understand how they are.
So I feel like on my white side, on my mother's side, I feel like that was just very culturally infused. And then I feel like on my dad's side, because he was very wetback Mexican, love you, dad, love you, dad, love you, dad. But he wanted to be so American that he just thought that he had to be racist too. That's what I feel in my fucking heart.
Okay, so look, you said racist too, right? Like racist also.
Mm-hmm.
So you PC'd up the fact. It's like you PC'd that you was told because that side of your family that told you was just racist. Like, let's just put 1,000. Like, basically, that's what you just said. In other words,
I don't understand.
All right, let me ask you the question again. Why was you told not to date niggas?
I don't know. Like I said,
he's putting it in layman terms.
I don't get it. Huh?
I'm trying to get to the meat of the fucking bone, because when I asked you the first time, the way you put it was like, in other words,
he's saying because you were brought up Jehovah's Witness,
they didn't want to see you fucking with niggas.
But why?
And then it's
like I'm the black sheep of the family, but thank God that God is my Lord. I'm the black sheep of the family.
Hey, the black sheep of the family is still a sheep. You do realize that, right? You know what I'm saying? The black sheep is still a sheep. But before we get too off topic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before we get too off topic.
And I'm not trying to. I was just trying to like give you a little bit of background on why I think the way that I do, and yeah.
Okay.
With me, and you did good with that. But with me, my attraction to white women, and it's crazy, most of my real relationships has been black women, and I love black women. But my most comfort level is a white woman, and the reason for it, there's no negativity there. There is no negativity. I can have a conversation with a strange white woman, a stranger, the white woman, but I can't have that same energy and conversation out the blue organically with a black woman. Why? Because I
need to say, I love that.
By that black woman. I'm being stereotyped. Why? You just met me.
I used to be stereotyped all the fucking time too. I have been told I have two daughters who are half black, and I used to get told by black women all the time, you can't cook like us. You can't clean like us. You're not going to be able to do your baby's hair like us. you like genetic, like when I throw down in the motherfucking kitchen and it's like I'm making my greens, I'm cooking their like soul food, okay? And I get criticized, or I used to get criticized all the time, and it used to bring me down so very much. But I understood, life brought lessons to me that made me understand that race really has nothing to do with it. And people who make things about race really have a lot of like spiritual healing to do, because I am soulful and I don't care if I'm half Mexican and a quarter French and a quarter Irish. I'm a crazy little mix, whatever. It's your heart. Like race really has nothing to do with it. And when we are submissive to other people, if we are submissive, it's not even like that's your heart. You're being submissive because you are dedicating yourself, your nervous system is dedicating itself to being submissive to something that's unknown. And all it comes down to is growth and really understanding that race has nothing to do with it.
All right, so let me ask you this shit real quick. So the topic of the discussion is, do black men love dating outside their race? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because this is how I want you to answer the question, right? You as being you yourself, right? As being a woman, as being a woman that's not black, you dated black men, right? You dated black men. It's safe to say that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, and I'm sorry, my right here, Erica.
Yes.
Erica, I would like for you to answer this question too.
Okay.
Because I know that black women would be able to. The reason why I'm asking this is because I know that black women would be able to answer this. Like, we're just like, this is what you get when you date a black woman. We're just like this. They are fully aware of themselves. They're in touch with themselves and how they are. So y'all, as you two, as not being black women that who dated black men, what do you think it is about y'all that black men are just attracted to dating outside their race? Because we can answer this shit. I've dated nothing but white women. Or
why don't you give it to us? Why don't you tell me? Why are you asking this question? You are so intelligent. You live in your head. I can already tell, but I want to know, what is it? Why don't you tell us? Why don't you give us a little piece of the puzzle?
No, we can do that, and I can. But in the meantime, I want to give the viewers a different perspective, because like I said, like we as a black man who date outside his race, there are people that's watching right now that's heard what I have to say. So, but what we haven't had was women that the non-black women that are actually being dated, what they have to say, like as far as, you know, why what I think it is about black men that dates outside their race is that maybe us, we're not, and these are the differences between y'all and black women. We can tell the difference between y'all and black women, but let's hear it from y'all perspective.
Hold on. Say it one more time. Say it one more time. Break it down.
Oh,
slowly.
man,
I
this
would
is
think,
gonna-
I would think,
moment, because
We
I
gotta
don't know how
speed
to
it up.
fucking answer
All right,
the
so
question.
Erica, what's up?
I'm gonna say, I think it's probably because we're not as confrontational. Not all black women are confrontational.
I was saying
I'm not
negative.
saying-
Not as negative.
Okay.
Thank
That's not what I'm
Okay.
saying. I'm not saying they're all confrontational, but other races and women are willing to be, and a lot of women are going to take this like, oh no, not submissive. A lot of other races, it's not that we're more submissive, we're more willing to let our men be men, and we're not trying to be in our masculine era as much as other women are.
Right.
That's what I get from it. Like, I want my man to be a man. I want to be in my feminine era. I do not want to be in my masculine era.
But why do you think that? Why do you think that these black women want to, or
I'm not saying that all black
are saying
women
that
are.
they don't want to be in their feminine era either? Like,
I'm not
why do
saying
you
that
think that
all
that's
black
the
women-
case? do you not think that there's something that has happened where it's like,
well,
okay,
100%.
say
Just
for-
like with white women, I'm going to say that I've been in my masculine era before. I've definitely stepped up to the plate and not been in my feminine era with certain men. That also goes in tune with the man that you're dating. You know what I mean? I can definitely be in more of my feminine era with someone else than I can with a different person. That depends on the man and the woman.
I just think that the majority of women do not want to be in their masculine era,
Absolutely.
including Black women. And
Absolutely,
I feel like,
but you have to
unfortunately,
find
for
the
some
right
odd
man.
reason, they've had to been forced to be put in that situation.
But that also
I've had
goes with
so
the
many-
men that you choose to date. If you choose to date that type of man that it makes you be in your masculine era, that is your choice. You're not
Have
dating
you
the right
dated
type of
men
man.
like that?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. I've dated.
Ooh, Erica, that was a good one right there.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah,
we've
it's a
all-
good it's a
maybe
good
not
one, but
everybody,
it
but
sounds
everyone-
like very, I don't know. It just sounds like a little
Has
defensive
everyone
and
has
judgmental.
everyone you've ever dated been top dog, like A1, like the greatest guy? No, I'm sure you've had to be
Exactly.
in your
No,
masculine
not at
era
all.
with certain people. So
Yeah,
that's
but no, I don't think what I was saying was like, while you say I don't want to live in my masculinity,
women in general, not just myself, women
and
in general.
that's why I was like going a little bit deeper with it, because I'm saying I don't think that any woman wants to, regardless of the color of her skin, regardless of her ethnicity.
Right.
But I get what you're saying, but there has to be a reason why. Like, I could sit up here and be like, I could tell you why, in my opinion, why white women kind of gravitate towards niggas. So you should be able to say the same thing in reverse is what I was asking you. So there has to be a reason why. Because if you attract niggas, right? If you attract niggas, there has to be a reason why you attract niggas.
No, I used to attract Black men because I used to have a fat booty. And it was
So you saying you need to be on your butt right now?
I need to start eating pork again or something,
Eat them
because
beans and rice, girl.
she
You
is
need to-
like she's non-existent.
Beans and rice.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
But,
holla
yeah.
at me after the show, cuz.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, stop.
Hey y'all, maybe I can help y'all answer the question. I'm gonna show y'all another video again, and this is about this whole topic here. So give me one moment to bring it up here.
All right, for sure.
Oh, okay, I got it. No, I got it. I said I got it.
Pump it up.
What is that?
Hold on, no talking during the video. So I want everybody to be able to hear it clear and hear the points.
I think that pertains to this topic as well.
Are you guys able to hear
Because
it?
when we talk about
Yes.
like, yeah, the white woman is willing to be a little bit more submissive because she's able to be taken care of, whereas Black women, they've had to struggle for what's the word that is called? Hypergamy. They've had to struggle for hypergamy. So I think that's a component to that as well that we can't skip out on.
They've had to struggle for hypergamy? What does that mean?
That typically Black women struggle with hypergamy, which means that when we talk about provider households, it's a little bit harder for Black women to come.
Look like we were slowing down.
Across a 100% provider man.
But why? Why do you think that is? Is it?
I mean, as a Black woman, if you were a Black man, I feel like it's a little bit harder.
But why though? Like
y'all do know that it's more than it's Black women all over the world, right? Like no, what you talking about is the Black American woman.
Oh my God.
A lot of these Black women, they coming from Jamaica, they come from other places, wherever they come from. They don't go through what the Black American women go through.
Shorty bugging.
She about to go in. Man, I'm hate that it's buffering.
Shorty bugging.
The Black American woman is out of control. Listen, the Black.
I'm gonna stop it, man, because man, I'm mad that we're gonna miss this point, man, because she
American woman is out of control. Your men can't talk to you. They can't control you. They can't lead you because you want to lead. You feel like because you're a Black woman, you got it down pat and you know it all. Black women always right. I'm strong because I'm a Black woman. This is y'all thing. Nobody want to hear that shit. Men don't want to hear that shit. I've never met a man that said I want a strong Black woman. I don't give a
fuck if you want to hear it.
I've never met
I'm a strong woman.
Men don't care about you being strong. They just want a woman. But y'all walk around with this chip on your shoulder just because you Black, and it turns people off and it pushes your men away. That's why they don't stay. And half of the time they do go to white women or Asian.
Damn. I like her.
It's the game, guys. Blocking the video.
Yo.
She was just about to hit the nail on the head.
Asian woman or any other woman because they're a little bit softer and they're not hearing that shit that y'all be saying. It's literally Black American women that act like this.
I'll be honest, I just say.
Yo, that's real shit.
So she said it's Black American women. It's not Black women around the world. It's Black American women.
Yep. And where's that coming from?
A Black woman.
Okay, so that's coming from the Black woman. That's coming from the Black woman. And she said that other women outside of her Black ethnicity cannot understand the struggle. Right? That's kind of what that sounded like to me.
You know what's crazy,
man? But like whether you Jamaican, if you Jamaican, you Jamaican. If you Panamanian, you Panamanian. If you Haitian, you Haitian. Like I got my peoples in New York, or like some of them are Jamaican, some of them are Haitian, some of them are Panamanian, whatever. But we gonna talk about Black women according to, like, based on what we just watched. Based on what we just watched. Fuck, like she has a point. Whether some Black women, period, like whether it's not just Black American, but some Black women are just like that. That's the confrontation. That's the conflict that we have to deal with as Black men. And I guess like and real shit, we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that you have to deal with. Like we don't want to hear that bullshit. We don't want to hear with the confrontation. We do. Black women don't understand how much.
Let me ask you on the screen, Cornell made a point here, and I want to see if you guys agree to this. He said the difference is most Black women wasn't raised to be wives. So a lot of Black women were raised to believe that they don't need a man. Therefore, their masculinity sets in.
Yo, he might be on to something.
No, because it says the difference is most Black women wasn't raised to be wives. So a lot of Black women were raised to believe they didn't need a man. Therefore, the masculinity sets in. So let's break that down. They weren't raised to be wives. What were they raised to be?
Confrontational.
Independent
to take care of themselves.
Take care of themselves. I don't need a man.
Yeah, independent.
I know a lot of Black women. I know a lot of Black women who were raised to be wives, who were the stronghold wife, who were the stronghold grandma, auntie, everything, who held that family foundation down like no fucking other.
You saying grandma? We talking about family, household wives, not single mom. That's a grandmama.
I'm talking. Grandma's a wife too. I'm not talking about grandma. I'm talking about wife. I'm talking about wife.
Hopefully, grandma's a wife.
Yeah, grandma who's the wife. Grandma who knows how to do laundry and teach you all the laundry secrets. Grandma who knows how to cook and clean. Grandma who knows how to do the hair. Grandma, they know how to be wives. They knew
I think
like
I think
most black women weren't raised to be wives. Fuck that.
But that's you have to as
Yeah.
a woman too, you have to know, not just in the black household, in white household, that fell off along the way somewhere. We, as you were growing up along the days, like women were raised to take care of the homes, to be the wives, to be mothers, to do that. So not just in the black.
Definitely agree with what you're saying.
It has totally fallen off where women have been raised to have to be independent and take care of themselves.
Girl, I completely agree with what you're saying there. It is like all the way around the table, the devil is trying to attack our families. That's how he's going to get us. But it's not just the women falling off, it's the men falling off too. Everyone's role is like not being it's not what it should be, it's not what it used to be, and it's not what it's supposed to be. And if you are, we have roles and nobody's playing them. It's like anymore these fucking days. Nobody understands the role of a masculine man that's going to provide, that's going to be loyal, that's going to direct and protect, and the submissive wife. The submissive wife that's going to be nurturing and make your home a place of peace.
The answer to that, when you say there's no masculine men out there that know how to take care of family.
No, there are.
I can't speak on other races. I can only speak on mine and what I see. Maybe a lot of men aren't masculine and don't know how to provide and be that leader in the household because there was no real man there to show that boy how to be a man.
So everybody wants to fucking point the fingers but not hold themselves accountable. That's what it feels like, the world that we're living in.
Yeah, but the thing is, if there's no man in the household to raise that boy, how does he know what a man is?
If there's no
guys
man,
you see in the streets,
then he is going to grow up and have so much healing to do, so much to recover from, because that's shitty. That's fucked up. But you have to also at the same time understand that I didn't have a man, I didn't have a dad to show me what this was supposed to look like. And I want to make sure that I think about myself all the time as a little girl. What would you want? Become that person that you needed.
So reflection. I'm gonna bring you back in, man. Again, back to the topic. I'm saying, black men, do they like dating outside of their race?
You do.
What would you say? Why?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want you to break it down why you think black men are dating out their race. And it doesn't got to be all negative. It could be a little this, a little that. Maybe they just like it. Maybe they like variety.
I'm going to speak my truth. I'm more comfortable being a gentleman and a nice guy with a white woman than I am with a black woman.
Oh, Lord.
Why?
I'm definitely more comfortable. I don't have to play the role with her. I don't have to play this alpha. I don't have to play this gangster. I don't have to be that nigga. When I open the door, when I walk up on other homies and stuff, I don't have to be this dude. Whereas when I'm with a Caucasian white woman, I can be regular. I could be myself. I can be the googly goggle and the laughing guy.
You should always be that.
I can be myself.
But you should always be.
Than I can with a black woman. I'm more at ease. And I can fail.
Do you practice being yourself with a black woman?
Let me finish. I'm not going to be beat down or feel like I failed her if I fumble on all levels. And it's not that I'm looking for acceptance of that failure, but I get that love more from that white woman than I do from that black woman. Because even though she did not tell me, nigga, you fucked up.
Do you date other races of women outside of white and black?
Huh?
Do you date other races outside of black or white women?
Yeah, most definitely. But I was raised in Texas, so my narrative might be different. I'm I was raised in Texas straight up, like 10 years old until I was like.
How is Texas?
The reason I'm asking that is because I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you keep saying white woman. When you're saying the word, like when you're saying white woman, does that mean all races of women outside of black, or is it just strictly white women only?
I feel like it's all races outside of black.
But like, because I'm not saying white women.
No, like for instance, because I'm hearing you saying when you're describing it and you're saying a white woman, I feel like this with a white woman, and when the way you keep saying white woman, I'm trying to clarify: is it you only outside of a black woman, you will only date white women, or are you using the term white women to categorize every other race of woman into one?
No, my personal attraction and arousement is the Caucasian woman.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And the reason that is for two reasons. One, because the narrative that was given to me as a nigga growing up in Texas. The Cindy Crawfords, the Brooke Shields, they were the woman to have. They were white. And then my own personal experiences, because as a sheltered kid, I was able to be more comfortable being respectable, opening the door, buying her something on the first date. And it didn't seem like I was trying to marry her. She understood that was just me giving her a gift. Whereas a black woman always trying to marry me, he's moving too fast. The white woman was like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for that. Oh, you opened the door for me. Thank you so much for that. Whereas a black woman, oh my God, this nigga's soft, he's easy. You don't need you to open my door. I got it, whatever like that. It was just a negative from the black woman. Whereas a white woman, she loved him. The more I loved her, she loved me more. The more I respected her, she loved me more. She appreciated it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Appreciated it. You know what I'm saying?
It's supposed to be, regardless of your.
Whereas when I did. Like, wait, when I did that shit for the black woman, she looked at me as a weak nigga. She wanted the thug in the streets. She didn't want the nigga that loved her and respected her and took care of her and made sure he was home on time, texted her all the time, how you doing, baby? And I'm not saying I was a simp, but I was into the loving my woman. And that black woman tried to play me like I was a simp. Oh, this nigga soft. He loved me too. He texts me all the time. He's kissing me when he walks in the door. Like, oh my God, I need a thug. I need a nigga that don't show me that much attention. Blase, blase. Whereas that white woman, she was like, she loved it. Like,
wait,
oh wow.
Those two things didn't even flow.
Like,
I need a nigga that's gonna show me attention. I need a thug. She didn't say that to you.
But it wasn't my
be a thug and then show attention like that.
It wasn't my reality. It wasn't my, because when I would take a white woman out on dates, I planned it and everything, and I got mad love for that. Like, hey, we get dinner time. I'm here. Open the door. Boom, boom, boom. Black woman's whole new different story. And I was like, wow, man. Nah, he's easy. He's too soft. He's blase, blase. How? Because I'm loving you. I'm showing you all this. How? How am I soft?
Yo, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I love that you're man enough to show that emotion. But sorry.
I did, but it was because the way I was raised. I was sheltered, so I understood. And what I mean by sheltered was my mom and dad was meticulous in raising me to make sure I respected the woman.
So was it easier for you to date white women than black women?
By far, of course. And obviously there was some media influence there. Because like I said, I was, you know, there's that media influence. I didn't have Facebook and social media back then, so it's organic influence. But yet again, black women wasn't as comfortable with their sexuality and showcasing themselves on the Jet magazine, as you said earlier, and other things. So all I saw was the Brooke Shields and things like that. So I was like, wow. And then when I would go to school as a black kid, I gravitated to the white girls. It wasn't the black girls that I gravitated to. So maybe there's some nepotism in that. So my situation might be different, but overall, I was more comfortable and I felt more appreciative when I did things for the white woman than it was with the black woman.
Boy, you sound like you was horny. That boy said, I seen the white woman in that magazine in the video, so I went back to school. I'm about to get a white girl now. After what I just saw in that motherfucking magazine, I'm getting a white girl now. That's what that sounds like.
I don't know.
Yo, you know what's the craziest? The shit that you said, Pac, that really stood out, like is one word, is you're able to be regular. And sometimes that's all you want to be. You just want to be regular. You just want to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear regular, I'm hearing you just want to be yourself, like without having to put on an act. without wearing a mask, without having to wear a mask. And that's how a lot of like dating a lot of black women, not all, but dating a lot of black women, you have to put on a certain persona. You have to be a certain, this is what you have to be. And that's what they expect. And when you date outside your race, and I said this 1,000 times, bro. When you date outside your race, these women outside of the black race don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They don't care about you gotta be macho and you gotta be alpha and you gotta be that nigga and fuck all that. Like
yes, I do.
Don't even matter. I'm not saying I'm maybe to you, but to all the women that I've dated outside of my race, all the women that I've dated, none of that shit mattered. I was able to be like,
you have to show and prove. It's not saying that you're not that.
It's like Pac said. I never had to play a role. I could be myself. I could be just regular ass L. You see what I'm saying? Like I could be just regular L, and that's the key word, just regular.
And it's not saying, and it's not saying we won't whoop a nigga's ass, but we don't have to.
It ain't got nothing to do with that, son. Look. When we watch this shit on social media, if niggas be we all watch this shit like the pop the balloon shit, right? Yo, the like, excuses.
Am I having a boy or a girl pop the balloon kind of shit? What you talking about?
Whatever the pop the balloon shit is with the Ninja Turtle nigga and all them other motherfuckers that be on that shit. This is what I'm saying, right? They be like, yo, why you pop the balloon? Oh, because the nigga fit, the nigga's shoes, this, that, and yo, the shit that black women come up with is just different than the shit that white women be like, yo, we arguing over money and we arguing over shit that really matters. We're not arguing over shit that's petty. And I'm not saying that there's petty women, that only black women are petty or none of that shit like that. Like, don't get it fucked up. What I'm saying is that when you're dealing with women outside of the black race, when you're dealing with women other than black women, there's things that just don't fucking matter to them.
Yeah.
When Pac said, yo, you could just be your regular self. You don't gotta worry about being corny. Black women will call you corny for the shit that don't even fucking matter in real life. That women don't of other races don't really give a fuck about because it really doesn't fucking matter.
But do you think that's all black women or just certain black women and certain like the type of black women that you're around? You think that's every single black woman?
Nah, fuck no. I don't never think nothing is every single any race.
Because that just sounds like it's a certain where you're finding your women and the type of women that you're dating.
It might sound like that, but I don't think no one thing applies to all women. No one thing applies to all men. No one thing applies to all black people, all black women, or all black men. I'm just saying, generally speaking, that's just what it is. And I'm speaking from my experience. I can totally relate to what Reflection is saying.
For my life, I'm a gentleman at the end of the day. I've never been comfortable to be a gentleman to my fullest peak with a black woman. And I'm not saying I don't respect her, but I'm not comfortable to my fullest peak to give her that undeniable love and everything, because there's always that I save for my that doesn't get disrespected and insulted.
Right.
Okay, so there's three guys on here. I need your men opinion on this, because I dated somebody for almost 11 years, and when I met his friends, or when I met people that I don't know if friends is the correct word, but people that knew him, they were like, oh, you were her. And I'm like, yeah. I don't even know what that means, but they were like, yeah, he never dates black girls. Like, he was known for not dating black girls. And that was so weird to me. My guy that I was with for almost 11 years was known for not dating black girls. And I heard that from like a random girl at the club. I heard that from another random girl at the club. I heard that from like a friend of a like even somebody that I even like went out on a date with was like, oh damn, you talked to that guy. I know that guy. He was like, that guy does not date any black girls. And I'm like, this is obviously a thing. That's weird. And then he would tell me, I don't date snow bunnies. I don't date white girls. I will never fucking talk to a fucking white girl. All I date is exotic. What the fuck does that mean? You don't date black. You talk shit about white girls and say that they're your snow bunnies and that they will do anything for you. White girls are submissive. They listen to you. They will do anything for you, but you date the in-between. So
is this a guy you would date? This was a guy you were in a real relationship with, or you were just courting?
I lived with him for 7 years, was together for 11.
Okay, so you were in a real relationship with him, right?
Yeah, but yeah. So there's there's depths to this conversation.
And that's what?
I don't know. I'm trying to ask your male opinion to it.
No, like, so if there's depth to it, what is your question? I don't know how to answer the question.
What is that? Like if you were talking about why do black men date outside of their race, but if like what's considered white, why was this man, you don't need to pick him apart, but he was a man that didn't date within his race, and he also wouldn't date just pure white girls.
Do you feel he was organically attracted to you, or do you feel you were just an experience?
Oh, he loved me.
Okay, so how do you know that? Because you said you had an issue with white women, right?
Do I feel like he was organically attracted to me? I don't know, but I do know that the thing is what I'm getting at is the simple fact that like the categorizations, like white versus you're white and mixed.
Maybe that's just like he preferred a more exotic look. He preferred the slanted almond eyes and the dark light skin with the dark hair. Maybe that's just what he preferred. Like maybe you prefer a light skinned dude with light eyes, right? Green eyes.
I don't like it Chris Brown.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not saying you do. I'm saying maybe that's what they were saying. He preferred a more exotic look. He didn't like white girls because white girls can be just plain, right?
So it really doesn't matter what like ethnicity it is. At the end of the day, it kind of matters like your whole culture. I have a friend who's
that's on everyone's outlook. Everyone's outlook is different on that.
When I meet somebody, I go off of the comfort of being myself, my true self.
I love that. Yes.
All the time, in the house, outside the house. How can I be my real self with this person? That's it. That's all it boils down to. And whoever gives me that emotion and that feeling outside of sex, that's the person I want to be with. That's it. And I've encountered that experience more with Caucasian women than I did with black women. I don't know why.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. That's the point of the topic of discussion. Like, do black men love dating outside of their race? It just so happens that
did you answer my question?
When we date outside of our race, that's where we usually find that piece. Is when we date outside of our race. I'm not saying that there's no black woman on this earth walking right now that we can't find that sort of peace with, but you'll be hard pressed to find. You know what I'm saying? That level of peace out. I mean, in inside your race. Usually, like I said, usually we find that peace, whether it's Vietnamese, white, Japanese, whatever the fuck it is. The things that matter, and this is not just with black women, the things that matter within our culture, we just pay attention to a lot of the wrong shit.
Okay, well, what about women with black men or white men?
Hold on, we can get to that. No. You ain't gotta be sorry. Nothing to apologize about. But it's just it comes down to a cultural thing. Like, we as black people, we care about all the wrong shit. So when we talk about black women just care about a lot of the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to dating them, and to white women or women of other races, none of that shit really fucking matters. And that's just what it is. Like, niggas, like, look, hold on real quick. When I say as a culture, you never see white people that has more money than any niggas that you see online with money phones. You don't see white people doing shit like that. And they could have all the money in the world. That shit don't matter to them. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so fucking petty. It's such a small thing. But as soon as we get a couple of coins in our fucking purse, we doing a money phone shit. A lot of shit that matters to to our culture don't really matter to a lot of other cultures. And again, I never seen a Japanese person or Asian person with a money phone. I never seen a white person with a money phone unless he was a rapper that was too overindulged in black culture. But you never see a lot of that shit that's going on in black culture with other cultures. So when it comes to dating, that shit spills over to how the women are. We date other women outside of our culture because that shit don't fucking matter to them the way it does in our own culture. And that
I'm gonna be more direct. I'm gonna be more direct. If I meet a white woman right now, I will be comfortable as fuck when she asks, "What's my occupation?" Oh, I work at McDonald's, or I work at Walmart. I'm a manager. Right. I'm not that comfortable when I'm talking to a black woman like that. Guess what I'm gonna tell her? A lie. Or I'm not gonna tell her shit at all.
That's crazy.
But I'm gonna be comfortable as fuck to tell her, yeah, I'm a manager at Walmart. Or I'm a you know, black woman, she come on and say, I'm a CEO at Chase Bank.
Yo.
She gonna say, oh, I'm an A&R at this record label.
Yeah.
With a white people tell I work at Costco.
Yeah. You can do that and get away with it.
That's crazy. The pressure there.
That is not the damn truth. What you're saying is literally not the damn truth. It is who you have interacted with. It is based off whoever you have actually interacted with. That has nothing to do with.
Hey, look, Ma, before you came on the podcast, we had people up here that was like, yo, you know what? You a manager. Now, manager is a respectable position in any profession, right? You're not just a worker, you're a manager, you're the owner, you're a boss, right? So we have women on this panel say, yo, you know what, you a boss, but you still a manager at Walmart. How much money are you making? See what I'm saying? And these women.
But black and white women will ask those questions.
But more black
people. I'm saying. Hey yo, Benz. I'm not saying no names, but you know what I'm talking about. You remember that conversation that we had when it was like, yo, well, how much money are we talking about? That's the kind of shit that we're talking about right now, where when you're dealing with women of certain other races, they don't give a fuck about, oh, you're the manager? Cool. Bottom line. Cool. End of story. It's like
that's it.
You can just be your regular self. It don't matter about that shit. But Shorty right here, she's the one that's gonna be like, yeah, that shit matters. And nah, man, fuck that. It's when you deal with certain people or a certain race, that shit really doesn't matter. You can be the manager of a Walmart. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because the people that collect your bills, you think they give a fuck whether you're the manager at Walmart or Saks Fifth Ave or whatever, or Prada or what? Nigga, where my money at?
You're talking to somebody who was 6 years old and making burritos and tamales and chili rellenos and
why do you care? Why do you care?
You're
If the
talking
nigga
to
making you
somebody
happy,
who
why do
did
you
that
care?
at the age of 6 years old and was walking to construction sites and selling.
Hey, if the nigga's taking
shit.
care of you and taking care of the
Did you hear
bills,
me?
and if you got
Did you hear
kids,
me?
he
You're
taking
talking
care
to
of your
somebody
kids.
who
Why do
did
you
that.
care?
Huh?
If niggas making you happy, why do you care?
Why does any of that shit that you talking about
If
even
he's making you
matter?
happy is probably the key point.
Goal in the achievement is being happy. Don't matter how I make you happy. Goal is being happy and feeling love. That's it. Black people for resume. Oh, they're looking for a resume. Black women are looking for a resume more times than white women. They don't care.
The joy kind of fades, but you want peace.
Do you love me? Are you going to take care of my kids? Black women are looking for status. They're looking for a resume. Looking for who you who you with? Who is this guy? Looking for image. Fuck all that. What does he work? Fuck all that pillow talk shit. White women don't give a fuck about that pillow talk shit. They want to know.
I hope that you wouldn't pillow talk. Why you pillow talking, my friend? Why you pillow talking?
Hey, Cornell.
Why you even doing that? Why you even doing that?
Cornell made a comment. That boy funny. He said, talk about the jobs and all that. He say, how many of you Negroes don't work when y'all with a white woman? Talk about the job don't matter.
That's funny.
he said niggas don't even have a job. They don't like her.
I've never not. I worked in the watermelon fields and the cornfields, and it sounds like a mom and pop story, a granddad story. But I worked in the watermelon fields and the cornfields. You couldn't even see the line, the rosebud sticks. I was that nigga in the field. I was in the real. You know the outhouse
where you learn from it.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, real quick. Hold on, because we got another guest on the screen here, man. So I want to bring them all. I want to have them come up on the screen, and we ain't doing no introduction. Hey, man. So we got my boy 80 West, man. You know he out there in Houston, man, and he chimed in. You know he got his own podcast doing this thing. But 80, man, I'm glad you came up on here, and I kind of want to get a different opinion. So, I mean, what you think about it, man? Why you think, going back to the topic, why do black men like going outside their race, man?
I think it's a lot about preference too, man. I think sometimes we're leaving out the fact that people got a preference. When you get to a certain spot in your life, you're looking for certain things that complement your status, the way that you get down, the way that you operate. Like men have a program. We got a program. Like a man that's about something. A man that got standards has a program. And if a woman don't fit your program, I don't care if she green, purple, or yellow, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. So we talking about specifically, professional ball players or people with a higher magnitude of status. You got to find somebody that complements that, bro. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And I think that's where culturally we have a divide, right? Like, this conversation ain't being had by white people right now. They're not having a conversation about who dating outside their race and how much it is, because it impacts our community because of the divide. And the generation that we're in right now, our generation is feeling the backlash of the generation before us, right? So like the women that are in this generation, in this era right now, this is different from what it was in the 80s or the 70s. You know what I mean? Like this is a whole different time right now in life. With social media and all that going on and people living out highlight reels, they looking at the best life of this and the best life of that. People looking for instant gratification. And whether it be the women who are looking for a man with a certain status, or it's a dude that's at a certain status and needs a woman to complement that. Like I made the comment earlier about LeBron James. Like Savannah, that's a sister. And she stays out of the spotlight. She let her man be a man and let him do it. That's why that's worked. If she was doing twerk videos, or if she was getting caught in scandals or doing this, or he was doing stuff that was putting it and jeopardizing their family, that would be a different conversation. But like you said, he's been with that girl since he was, in high school? That man 40 years old right now. We don't see that a lot, unfortunately, out of black couples because of the divide. There's a divide that was created a lot by us, because I'm not going to never just make it seem like we have no blame in it. But it's also been a divide from things like the social media and the whole nine. So from where I sit, I be looking at it like this, man. When you're dealing with a female, it's about who compliments your status, who compliments your program. If you're a man of standards, you got a program. It's going to be a certain way that you want things. You're not going to go for certain things. Certain things going to have to be a certain way. And then there's some cats who don't care nothing about that because they don't have no standards. They don't have no status. So when you're talking about high profile people, high profile person, they got a lot to lose. They got a lot to lose. So you can't just have just anybody on your arm. I'm not saying whether it has to be a specific race or if it has to be a certain genre or person. But at the end of the day, it's more about what suits your situation. Like bro was saying, brother said he grew up in Texas. He was surrounded by something different. Me being in Texas and coming from California, I hear a lot of the exact opposite. A lot of brothers don't date outside their race because all they know is the black women. Houston has a high population of black women. We from California, we from Northern California. That was regular to us, bro. We done been rocking since junior high school. So we done been around Hispanic women, white women, Indian women, Filipino women. We've been introduced to a lot of different races. And we had kind of the fruits of the picking. But if we would have grew up somewhere like Alabama or somewhere where it was culture, where it wasn't so diverse, it probably would have a different outtake on it. We have a different outlook on it. So I think a lot of it has to do with how you was raised, where you were brought up at, what your standards was, and then where are you at today with yourself? What you might have wanted 20 years ago, you probably don't want the same thing now. When you a person
the fruits of your picking, what are you picking?
Glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I do want the same thing now because I was raised to love a woman that accepted my genuine self and my vulnerability. I don't feel comfortably vulnerable with a black woman more than I do with a white woman.
Understand?
So when you're a sheltered child, that means you're supervised meticulously. You're learned and you're taught, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You're taught to respect people. So if you don't connect, when you leave that sheltered lifestyle, if you don't connect with the world in that type of system, where do you fit in outside of those that accept that? And I found out white women accept respect and vulnerability more than black women.
So you were raised sheltered. Do you feel like you've grown from that?
On 10, wait.
You being raised sheltered, do you feel like you grew from that?
Thug with black women more times than none with white women. I can walk away from a fight with a white woman and keep my man pride. But I can't walk away from a fight with a black woman and still keep my male pride. You niggas, it's over, bro. That's crazy to me. Why would I lose my male pride and my stamina because I walked away from this fucking fight? I don't want to go to jail. I got kids to take care of. But I dare do that with a black woman because she gonna downplay me. Nigga, you ain't shit. That nigga dogged you. That nigga played you. What? White woman ain't gonna tell me that. Fuck out of here, yo.
Niggas
I can use wisdom in this situation. This ain't gonna work good for us. Come on, let's go. A black bitch? Oh, come.
I think
handle that.
He cutting out. Hey, yo, son, you cutting out. Reflection.
Yeah,
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Yeah, his mic going out.
Your mic going out, brother.
My mic going out?
Look.
Yeah.
Your shit going out, son. Your shit going out.
Okay, say it again. And still keep my male pride with a white woman, but I can't walk away from a fight and keep my male pride with a black woman. Maybe I use wisdom in that situation. And I can go home and still get my genuine love from this white woman. But I can't go home with that genuine love from that black woman. Because she's going to say, I played myself. I got punked. No, I use wisdom. ain't gotta fight all the time.
Yo, you cutting
We
out
got a
bad.
home to take care of.
I think a lot of that is based on your personal experience, because it depends on where you at. And I mean, it really depends on where you at and what you've had to experience. If that's been something that you've experienced and it's kept you, I mean, because it's not like all white women are perfect. It ain't like all black women are bad. It just depends on what your experience has been in those relationships and situations you've been. Now, I will say this. A lot of what you're describing and what you're saying, bro, is based on the women that you are dealing with, how they was raised. And that speaks volumes. How a woman was raised speaks volumes on how she's gonna treat her man. And unfortunately, in our culture, in our community, a lot of our people haven't seen, like our women haven't seen their mothers handle a black man accordingly, because a lot of brothers wasn't in the house. That's why I say it's kind of the divide has kind of been put on by us too. That's why I never take our hand out of the cookie jar, because at the end of the day, it's been a lot of fucked up shit that had happened and took place. And so these women are experiencing let me say this real quick. In our culture specifically, because I done dated outside of my race, I done had Indian women, Hispanic women, Filipino women, I done have Polynesian women. And the number one thing that I noticed is how they were raised. That is the biggest reflection on how you're gonna be treated. So a lot of it has to do with the women on how they was raised. You know what I mean? And being out here in the South, one thing I realized about being in the South that's totally different than California is this is a family-oriented state. So they're big on family. So the traditional things that I'm from California, but I live in Texas. And since I've been in Texas, I've noticed Texas is super big on family, like super big on family. This is probably the most family-oriented state I've ever been in my life, and I've traveled all over the country. You know what I mean? And it speaks volumes on how you'll be treated as depending on how somebody was raised. I've dated Indian women who their whole culture, their whole family background was about, there was never a question about, is the man gonna lead? Because that's the way they were raised. They were raised that way culturally. Like my boy Fred was saying earlier, a lot of sisters, they didn't receive that the same way. So they were taught to have to be independent. They were taught to have that you don't need no man. They were taught that you can do this by yourself. They was taught that stand up and do your own thing. And that's the stuff that's bringing the divide. Unfortunately.
Oh my God, that is all so big. That's huge. That's big. That's major.
It's tremendous, because you're only going to be a reflection of what you were exposed to, right? So if you got parents that were alcoholic, more than likely you're going to be an alcoholic. If you had parents that went to church, more than likely you're going to go to church, right? So if you grew up in a household where
the alcoholic part, no, I wouldn't say, because I have multiple friends who had alcoholic parents and they don't drink because of that.
I'm just using that as an example. In the most part, like the things that you were exposed to, more than likely is going to be a reflection of how you are as an adult. And specifically with this topic that we're talking about, it has to do a lot with what were you exposed to growing up. An OG dude told me one day a long time ago, man, he said, if you want to know what type of woman you're going to have, look at her mom. How does her mom treat her dad? Are they still together? Does she treat him like he ain't shit? Because if he don't, more than likely 9 times 10, that's how she gonna handle her relationship, right? Or vice versa. If it was a man, and vice versa. If it was a man that was abusive to the mother, more than likely that's what the son gonna grow up being the same way, because that's all he know. That's what he was seeing. That's what he was taught.
It's very much more complex than this, though. It's very much more complex, because I was raised with a mother who she massaged my father's feet. She made sure that there was always a meal on the table when he came home. Is the salsa spicy enough? Is everything perfect to his liking? Like, she catered to him. She catered to all of his friends when they would come home from like working out in the vineyards and whatever.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question.
But she did everything on her own too. So I learned that independence part when he left her, when she went and brought him lunch one day and caught him fucking like a girl, like straight up bent over in the winery vineyards. Okay, so she also having kids on her own. So I saw my mother be very submissive, and I saw her be very independent.
Well, sometimes, I mean, and so look what we're talking about. We're talking about two different situations, right? When everything was good, she was catering to the man, doing what she
It was
doing.
never good. He beat the shit out of her.
So then he wasn't. I mean, that's what I mean. But we talking about specific situations. But as a whole, though, so the whole part about her being catering and submissive to him, is that the same way that your grandmother was to your grandfather?
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about. So that's what she knew because that's what she was exposed to. That's how she was raised. Now, has she been raised by? Hold on.
My counselor right now. Damn, that's what she knew. That's why she was that way. Okay.
That's how she was. So coming from the other side, from our culture, unfortunately, a lot of our sisters been raised in a household where the mother had to be the breadwinner. The mother had to be the man of the house. There was no father in the house. So she never seen how to treat a man because there was never no man there for her to treat accordingly. Right? So that's what I say. It falls back onto what you were exposed to on how that you treat your partner.
My mother treated my father very well and was still an independent woman. She catered to my dad like nothing else, and she still taught me how to be submissive and strong. How do you do that?
That's the key. I mean, people use the word submissive and think that it means weak. It means the exact opposite. Because I'm gonna tell you, as a man, a submissive woman, a woman that knows how to follow a program, she don't get anything she wants from me. She don't get anything she wants from me. She don't get anything she wants from me because it's a place of understanding. And that's another word too. When Black women hear the word submissive, the first thing that comes to their mind is weak. And it means the exact opposite, right? Like a lot of people are into the Bible, and if you read the Bible, it tell you it goes God, man, woman, then child.
Wife, yes.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't in there for no reason.
God, man,
woman, and then child. That's the scripture. That's what it's.
That is the arrangement. That is how it is supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
1,000%.
But along the lines, a lot of that has got dismantled because of the trials and tribulations that come along with separations of family, abuse, infidelity, things of that nature. So that's why I say, go ahead.
Been through it all, and I still recognize that. I've been through it all. I've been through the abuse. I've been through infidelity. Been through it all, and I still understand the dynamic of the divine dynamic, the divine order.
So do you appreciate a good man when you meet him, despite his race?
I'm stubborn. I know the divine order, but I'm a little stubborn. But I really truly believe that I chase the most difficult people.
Because of your negative past.
That's your preference.
Yeah, everybody has a preference, that's for sure.
That's your personal preference.
But that's also if you're chasing the most stubborn
certain
ones, you're not healed.
I know it's not good. I need help with it, like, to be honest, but that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, I'll admit to that. So
okay, so do Black men love dating outside their race? Cornell asked, the nigga said, okay, how many of you Negroes don't work while you are with the white woman? How many of you Negroes don't work while you with the black woman?
Keep saying Negroes and shit. What's going on?
That's what he said.
What's going on?
I'm on some nigga shit. Hey, I'll be on that nigga shit.
Hey, Bob. Hold on. Hey, ask the question again, Legend.
Nigga said, okay, how many of you Negroes don't work while you are with the white woman? Negro. How many of you niggas don't work while you with a black woman?
No, that is not no.
Why the fuck why would you even ask some dumb shit like that, bro? Because since we talking about Hold on, son. Hold on. I got this, my nigga. Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk. Trust me. But since we on that topic, it's like, my nigga, how many of you niggas don't work while you with a black woman? And since we talking about the difference between being with a black woman and being with any woman of other than black, I bet you get a different response from not working while you with a black woman than you will with a non-black woman. So what the fuck are we talking about, bro?
Yeah, niggas talking about I'm gonna flip that shit. Let me get the text.
Like, what are we really talking about? Like, what are we really talking about? I promise you get a
okay. You literally
like,
get to just
like,
lay.
What are we doing here, bro?
I'm gonna tell you what they're talking about. You get to lay in bed. You get to sleep in. You get to just be comfortable. Oh, baby's at work.
Niggas is bugging the fuck out, son.
Okay.
Like, look, who's Quita?
Check it.
Quita Williams. Who the fuck is that? Hold on, we're gonna address some of this shit because I'm reading the comments. I'm like, yo, we need to address some of this shit in the comment section, right?
Because they think.
Look, that Akita Williams, right? That's what they want, to be a black man who is inferior. So in return, he bashes black women to gain sympathy. What the? And the same person, I apologize if I'm destroying your name, like if I'm just butchering your name, Quita, whatever the fuck, right? Ow. Thank you, because these two black men got black women messed all the way up. There's 3 niggas here. What 2 black men? Who the fuck are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, get your ass in the comment. Let's get into it. Because now
we just have open forum in the comments.
Niggas got me charged up right now. I'm ready for it, man. Like, I'm here for
it. So this is the reason right here. The negative comment, the negativity from the black woman.
I just explained. It's not even just from the black woman. It's from our own culture, my nigga. It's from our own culture.
We're expressing what we're loved at the most. We're expressing where we can be our most vulnerable self at the most. When a warrior's done fighting, he don't need to go home and be a warrior at home. He needs to be himself.
Okay. I love that. I really love that. But what about the woman too? When she wants to feel like everything's on.
Let me say this though, it ain't just as much as it gets put into the spotlight, man. We're not gonna sit here and make it seem like all black women is a problem. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that neither. Because women is women. Women is women, bro. And at the end of the day, man, women are all ran by emotion. So it might be a handful of specific women who you're not gonna have to deal with a lot of shit with. But let's just keep it real, bro. I done dealt with shit from every goddamn kind of woman. And trust me when I tell you, I done had every kind of woman it is. When I tell you I ain't bullshitting. So we're not gonna make it seem like it's just black women. It's white men that go home and go through the same bullshit. They got a white girl at the house, they going through some bullshit. It's Mexicans that go through the same shit. So I get what you're saying, but it may get brought to the spotlight more. But I mean, shit, domestic violence don't just happen in black homes. That shit happen in white homes, Mexican homes, everything else, the whole nine. So it's not like we the only people that's dealing with some bullshit because if you got a black woman, it's gonna be that. It's white women that's crazy. It's Mexican women. I just seen a clip just before I got online of a Puerto Rican woman pointing the gun at her dude, telling him to tell everybody that he in a relationship. She shot the gun in the house and all this shit. That nigga looked like he needed to put an SOS out and ask for help. You see what I'm saying? So we're not gonna make it seem like it's just that. It's just brought to the forefront more as far as that.
Yeah, he cut out.
Yeah, he cut out.
Yeah. No. He fell off with that. We wasn't establishing the black woman as an issue, as a problematic issue. We never established that with it.
What you said exactly was, though, a man don't want to come home and have to fight another war. I don't want to fight a war with no woman, no matter what color she is when I come to the door, bro. I don't care what color. I'm not arguing. I work.
But that war is elevated more often with the black woman than it is with any other woman. Fuck a white woman with any other woman. Because that black woman has an issue with us due to her upbringing and her education as a daughter compared to her mother. So her mother failed. And you want to blame us for that failure. We didn't fail her.
We just established like it doesn't even matter what ethnicity you are. You just find somebody
it's not our fault
for you. You find somebody who's
What's the brother's name with the cowboy hat on?
Huh?
What's the brother's name over here on the left? What's his name over here?
Oh, legend. Oh, reflection.
I'm not the black woman. I'm not deeming the black woman as the issue. I'm deeming her raising and her upbringing as the issue, which she's being taught. We have to have a particular job. We have to have a particular financial level. We have to have a particular status. We have to be heavy in the streets. That's what she's being taught. So it's not the black woman. Problem. It's her education of the black man. It's her education and knowledge of the black man.
But see, this is where I gotta play devil's advocate though. Who you think that falls on, bro? Who do you think that falls on? Who do you think that falls on?
I think that falls on the parents.
But that falls on the black. That falls on the black man, bro. As much as listen to me, as much as it may not be the truth that you really want to hear, that's who it falls on, bro. Because at the end of the day, these other races that are being entertained, that we're highlighting and saying is this and that and the other, they grew up with a man in the house.
So what
happens when you don't grow up with a man in the house? Does that man grow up in like
other races other races are educating their daughters? If this man loves you, he loves you. It don't matter what job he has. It don't matter what status he has. He loves you and he's going to take care of you. The black woman don't want to hear that at the end of the day. They want to hear status. They want to hear status.
But this is the point that I'm trying to make to you, though.
Where does he work? What does he have? What does he have? What material do we have? That's what the black woman's been raised about.
Listen what I'm saying to you, bro. Hear me out, though. Hear me out. Okay, but hear me out, though. So you blaming it on the way that she was raised. If she was raised by a single woman, that's what was being installed to her. What you think that how you think her viewpoint gonna be on who she was taught to? We only go by what we was taught, bro.
So it doesn't apply if you're raised single. If you're raised by a single parent, it doesn't apply because that means you got the half-ass game. You got to get the whole game.
What does having the half-ass game mean?
Unfortunately, for our culture,
that means you only was raised in a one-parent household. It doesn't apply. That's a different strategy that you have to apply to your relationship. But if you was raised with a mother,
I was raised that way, what would be your advice to me?
If you was raised with a mother and a father, that means you was properly balanced to understand when you venture out who you should connect with.
The point that I'm trying to make to you is culturally, our women wasn't raised in the majority like that. In the majority of the black homes, it wasn't like that, bro. I was raised by a single mom. So that's
the growth of the negativity, because that failure don't lie on the man she meets. That you don't ask for a status. You ask for his ability to get you there. You ask for his ability to love you. You ask for his ability to maintain. You ask for his ability to.
You can't ask for that ability for somebody who's not there. So that's the point I'm trying to make to you. It's like, for our culture, it's unfortunate, but a lot of our women wasn't raised with that same platform and that luxury of having both parents in the house to show them how to coexist with their partners. So that's the reason why I'm saying that to you. So it's easy to section out. It's easy to section out the less fortunate or the ones who wasn't raised in that capacity, and then judge it accordingly. I understand the dynamic. Hold on, let me just say this. I understand the dynamic of where you're coming from, but the logic behind it is the disadvantage of how you was raised in your household. So where you was at, I can relate to it, because being in the South, like I started off by saying, in Texas, it's a family-oriented state. So there are more couples together. There are more marriages. There are more traditional families. I've seen that since I've been here. It's really like that. It's traditional. You'll see more double-parent households. So the women that you were around and in the proximity that you were in, you might have been in an area that was predominantly raised with two parents in the household that was able to communicate that to their kids and their upbringing. But unfortunately,
so let me ask you a question, and this is to you respectfully, and this is to the black woman that act like we was against black women, right? This is to both of y'all. So what do you say to most of my relationships that has been black? I'm talking about married. I'm talking about real relationships. Most of my relationships has been with a black woman. What do you say to that?
You just said earlier that it was with white women.
No, I didn't. I never said that. And more comfortable with
what he said. He said growing up, the majority of your relationships were with white women, because that's what you've seen in the Brooke Shields and
no, we got to run it back.
Magazines in the bathroom that his uncle left in there, and he went to school.
No, I said my attraction, but if you run a video back, I said my real relationships has been with black women, so I don't have an issue with black women. But I said my highest comfort level and my attraction has been with Caucasian women, white women.
And so that's your preference.
So I don't have an issue with black.
It don't sound like it.
How does it not?
I ain't trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass. It don't sound like it.
It's not supposed to sound like it, but it's telling the truth. The truth is the truth. You can't sugarcoat.
No. And we not gonna never sugarcoat. I'm just going by what you was relaying, what you said. What you basically said is if a listener, if somebody just chimed into this conversation, the way that you're addressing it, it sounds like you got a problem with black women.
I got a problem with negativity. I got a problem with negativity. And I said, no matter where my people comes from, whether it's white, Asian, whatever, that's what I gravitate to. But with me growing up in Texas, I was transitioned into believing the white woman brought that. The white woman was the attractive. The white woman was the person that has, not the black woman. So maybe my situation is different, but that's what my people are. Had nothing to do with negativity, because I was sheltered. And when you're a sheltered kid, like going to private school, you're not around the fist fights. Niggas ain't fighting and spitting on you in private school. Private school comes with order. Private school come with this. Public school don't come with this. So out here in the real world, there's no discipline and there's no order. So I grew up sheltered. So I grew up in a private school.
We about to go into the comments real quick. So we got Don here. This is crazy as hell. He want to know, so where do mixed women fit in all this?
If they bring it a piece, they fit right in. If they bring it a piece, they fit right in. Wherever my piece lies, I feel like to ask a black woman out and approach her and to give her my government and give her a shivery handshake, she's gonna give me the tip of her fingers. I approach a white woman, she's giving me full hand. Why? For what?
Hey, yo, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I want to address everybody in the comments because motherfuckers all in their feelings. I really don't give a fuck.
It's not about hating black women.
I don't care about none of you niggas or you women all in your feelings because you misinterpreting what we saying.
I'll bring the mask out.
Like my shit is this, man. Like, just because we feel a certain type of way don't mean that we have something against black women. Stop saying like I know my mom is black. Why the fuck would you say certain shit to me knowing trust me, I'm well aware my mom's is black. But my mom has nothing to do with me dating black women. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dating my mom. So don't say why would he feel this way about black women knowing that his mom is black? What the fuck does my mom have anything to do with me dating black women? Just because me and son or me and any other black or black dude, you know what I'm saying? We have views and opinions. If you're allowed to have certain views and opinions on black men, because you do, let's keep it 1,000.
All the time.
Don't act like y'all opinion of black men is just all perfect, like all niggas is perfect. Shut the fuck up. Shut your ass up. Sit down somewhere with that bullshit. If that's what the fuck you telling me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're able to have an opinion on a black man, why the fuck can't I have an opinion on a black woman? How's that fair? Let's make it make sense.
No, that's real.
With that bullshit in the fucking comment section, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 1,000, man. Like, we allowed to have our y'all the same way y'all allowed to have y'all opinion about us, man. Fuck out of here with that bullshit.
You know why? You know why?
It's okay. It's okay to disagree. Hold on, fam. Hold on. It's okay for us to agree to disagree, but for you to point out the obvious, come on, man. Like, shut the fuck up with all that bullshit. Shut up with all that bullshit, man. I'm not here for all that, man. Like, we already know what it is with certain race and certain shit. Like, my experience, I speak when I get on this panel, I'm telling y'all niggas from my own personal experience. I'm not just telling you my opinion, not just. Yeah, I'm telling you my opinion, but not just. I'm speaking on personal experience. You don't gotta agree with my personal experience, but I'm telling you my personal experience. You know what I mean? Like, I never in my life sniffed coke, but if you want to sit up here and tell me about your experience about sniffing coke, nigga, how the fuck am I gonna argue with you when you the one that sniffed the motherfucking coke? You see what I'm saying? So we ain't gotta agree on the shit, but respectfully, like, come on, man, let's keep it 1,000. I don't want to hear a lot of niggas. It's okay. You ain't gotta like what Reflections is talking about in the comments. Niggas ain't gotta like what L is saying in the comments and on the panel, whatever. But you gotta. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. You see what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point of us. If you don't, matter of fact, I'm gonna put it like this: motherfuckers be quick to disagree and talk crazy in the comments, but never want to get on the panel. If you got that much to say, get your motherfucking ass up on this panel and speak your motherfucking piece, man. I don't want to hear about your motherfucking comments. I'm tired of reading niggas' comments, tired of reading people's comments or whatever, and you know what I'm saying? Niggas talking crazy and nigga, Captain Obvious. We know a lot of shit that y'all niggas is saying. You don't need to point that shit out. Get your motherfucking ass up on this motherfucking panel and talk your shit, nigga. If that's your truth, talk your shit. Get your ass up on this motherfucking panel. Fuck all the bullshit. And that's how I feel.
All right. But you had something to say, Eddie? I think you were speaking on something.
No, I'm just listening to what's going on. I mean, you know, it's a wide topic that goes in many directions. But from the basis of the actual initial question about, you know, do black men love dating outside of their race? I think for men as a whole, we like who like us. Like the majority of men. Now you'll get some men that are so stuck on a preference that that's all they'll do. But for the way I look at it, man, you blocking your blessings if you just single out just one thing and say that, man, I got sons, I got boys. So I tell all my sons the same thing, man, you like who like you. At the end of the day, it's about who's gonna bring you peace. It's gonna be, like I say, as a man of standard, as a man of integrity, you got to understand that the woman that you're dealing with, she got to be under your program. And I know a lot of people don't, that might be too complex for people, but as a man, your job is to lead. So how you going to lead something that's not under your program, which means if she's doing stuff that don't fit the criteria of how you get down and how you operate, then she wrong. I don't give a fuck if she black, white, green, or purple. So that's why I don't look at it. I don't have no type. My type is the type of woman that understands being up underneath her man program. You know what I'm saying? It's not about just getting 10s all the time. Some dudes, they just want the baddest bitch they can see. If she a 10, then that's all they think about. And that's why so many niggas lose, because you looking at just the exterior. You ain't looking at the interior. You know what I mean? That interior. And as we get older, things change. When we was younger, yeah, that was all we wanted. When I was younger, all I used to fuck with was a light-skinned woman with green eyes. Like that was golden. Boy, you find a red bow with some green eyes or something, boy, that was a trophy status. But that don't mean that she was a good woman. So that's why I tell my sons the same thing. And that's how I sprinkle them a game. I let them know, listen, man, it's about who make you feel right. You don't never got to be with somebody for a status or something that makes you feel like you doing what works for everybody else. Because everybody else ain't got to be with that person, right? You the person that's got to be in that relationship. I think I can speak for everybody on this panel when I can say everybody on here that been in a failed relationship. Everybody in here that been in a failed relationship. Ain't nobody in here still with the person they was with since they was in high school. So you got to learn and live those experiences. You got to learn and you got to experience them to know what you want and what you don't want. You might run through 100 white women before you realize, hey man, this might not be for me. I might need to go get me a sister, or vice versa. You might run through you know what I mean? So it's all about your experiences. It's all about what works best for you. But as a man, I stand on integrity. I stand on standards. You know what I mean? So the woman that I mess with, the woman that I be with, she a reflection of me. So I'm not gonna have a woman that don't fit the criteria of how I get down. So if she happens to be Hispanic and we rocking and she know how to hold it down the right way, then that's what it's gonna be. If it's a black woman, so be it. But the way I look at it is, you can't just single out and say, I'm only gonna mess with this or I'm only gonna mess with that, because you're gonna miss your blessings doing that. You're gonna miss your blessings doing that. You don't know right now. And
that was never established. I've never singled out any standard at my own.
No, I wasn't talking direct. I wasn't talking directly to you. I just meant in general. Just in general.
No, but I'm just saying for the comments for the black woman, that was never established. I never seen a black woman. My relationship has been with a black woman, but I'm telling you, most comforting times has been with the Caucasian female. My most vulnerable times that I've been able to accept myself as a man. And I needed that. I was expected to ask from whatever I needed to do as a man, but I wasn't as challenged with a white woman as I was with a black woman. I wasn't as challenged.
And that just means that you got a preference. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. I mean, it really ain't.
But my attraction was a black woman, obviously, because that was my relationship. But my secret indulgence, as my vulnerability, was a white woman. Because due to the negativity, it's the negative. It's the negative.
So
black women are more negative. Black women are more negative than white women. I can hold a conversation with a white woman more time. If I start a new job, if I hire a new employer job, right? I guarantee you, it's going to be a white staff that I'm more comfortable in conversating with in the break room than it is with a black woman. So if I go in the break room and there's a white woman in the break room, I'm going to be more comfortable. We're going to conversate. If it's a black girl in that break room, I'm going to walk in, get my food, get my water, and sit on the other side. Why is that?
Because that's your comfort zone. That's your comfort zone. It sounds like that's your comfort zone. And ain't nothing wrong with that. To each his own, man. That's just, I mean, at the end of the day.
It's not my comfort zone. It's what she's giving. It's what the woman is giving.
But
if you see a chick in public and you try to get at her, only why you gonna really go in is what she did back. If she gives you like,
my bad, y'all. I'm laughing because I can tell when people zooming in trying to read the comments because I see people face like this.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what you said. I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yo, the comments is crazy.
She said every time you start lying, your mic fuck up.
That's crazy.
Oh shit. Hey, let's get Queen on here, man. Let's see what Queen got to say. Hey, but no, all bullshit aside though, it's about preference. As you can tell, your boy, he got a strong preference. You know what I mean? And that's his cup of tea. If that's his cup of tea, that's his cup of tea. If he happy with a white woman on his arm and that's all he wanted to seclude himself to, then that's that man's business. That's his preference. If that worked for him, that worked for him. Just because I had bad experiences with black women don't mean I'm going to exile all black women because I know they ain't all the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about your standard. Who are you as a man? Where do you lie within how you stand on your integrity and your character? What are you going to accept and what are you not going to accept? If you know you're not going to accept negativity, I'm not going to accept the same negativity from any woman because I'm not going for that shit. I'm just not. So I'm not going to make it seem like it's just black women that's going to be negative. It's white women that's crazy too. It's some crazy ass white women out here. It's crazy ass women over here. It don't matter. It don't really matter. But I think the topic of the discussion was about the black men love dating outside their race. And if you ask that question, I think it's all about preference. Who is the black man that we talking about? That's what it really boiled down to. That's what it really boiled down to. Freddie B, you know where we grew up at. So from where we grew up at, it was a little bit of everything, right? Like it was a little bit of everything. So we really had our pickings. We really had it good, to be honest with you, because we was able to have whatever we really wanted, and we was able to find out what avenue might work best for us. But like I was saying, what we might have wanted 25 years ago might not be the same thing that you're looking for in life right now. So it really boiled down to the black man that we're speaking about specifically. You know what I mean? If you bought a Ford and your Ford was fucked up, more than likely you ain't gonna never buy another Ford again. You'd have bought 2 or 3 Fords and they all was trash. You'd be like, man, I ain't never buying another Ford again, man. I'll never drive that motherfucker again. That was your experience. But now, if you didn't have that same experience, you likely to explore that option again. If it wasn't such a traumatic experience, and I think that's what it kind of boiled down to.
That's it. So we've been on this thing for damn near 2 hours, if not longer. I do thank you, Eric, for coming on, just giving us your personal experience, what you've been through. Legend always, man. You know I like when you come on the show. Reflection, man. Appreciate you, man. Keeping the energy up, man. And boy, y'all has me wilding out, man. I'm glad you got up and got you a drink right now. And 80, man, I see in the comments, man, they're requesting for you to come back again, man. They talking about they like you. So, man, we gonna have to do it again. And I think the next episode I'm gonna chime in on it will be on Monday night, y'all. Same time, 8 o'clock again. So we'll come up with another topic. Hell, we might come up with a topic about black women who date out their race. Shit, that might be the topic. Goddamn it, they can talk about fuck these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But again, y'all, I want to thank y'all for coming on again, man. And I guess we're gonna stand on, and I'm gonna stand on my last comment. Nigga, I'm dating outside my race. Goddamn it, that's it. So, all right, y'all.
Nigga, great.